For those who don't know who I am, my name is Tony Casso, and I am the candidate for State Senate District 20. For those who don't know where District 20 is, it's everything from Ulmerton Road to the Pasco County line, and from the Gulf to the Hillsborough County line. It includes Clearwater Beach, but not most of the other beaches. Now, to start off, I got to tell you, I'm not a politician and I'm not politically correct. So don't expect me to give you political whatever. Now, I'm supposed to give you a political speech tonight. But I hate political speeches. Because political speeches are actually designed to make you ask questions about whatever the candidate wants. So instead, let's do things a little differently. Let's just have a conversation. And since I'm the guest speaker, I'll go first. Right? And then you'll have time to chime in and ask me whatever you want. And I mean whatever. Right? Not just what I'm talking about. Any question you might have, feel free to ask. What we have is a government that's broken and out of control. We have people that are elected to office that are more concerned about lining their pockets for special interests rather than doing their job. It's time we change all that. We got to change the word special interest back to we the people. And that's what it actually comes down to. People ask me all the time, what am I running on? What are my issues? What's my platform? Well, I have a lot of concerns. A lot of them are laid out in the flyer that I have. My main things are, first of all, our rights. Because that affects everybody. My number one issue is property rights. Because property rights are the cornerstone of liberty. Then we move on to jobs and the economy, because that's important to keep our society going. Education, and the preservation of our Second Amendment rights. But the bottom line is, it's not about my issues, it's about your issues. Most people up there have no idea what their job is. And their job is twofold. First part of their job, which is the most important, is to protect your rights. And that means the rights of all of us. The second part is to bring your issues up there that are important to you. Not what's important to them or the special interest. The only way we can set things right is to replace everybody that's in there right now with new people. Unfortunately, we don't have enough people running for every seat, but for the seats that we do have people running for that are not politicians, those are the ones that everybody needs to get behind, support, do what you can to help. Because those are the ones that will stand up and make a difference. So I'm not going to bore you with any more stuff. Most of the stuff, most of you have heard already. Now it's your turn to ask me whatever you want. Anybody have any questions?
Don't be shy.
No questions? Great, go ahead.
Something
Go ahead, fire away.
what are your plans, when elected, what's your plans as far as legislation that you would like to introduce or battle against?
Well, my plans are not to introduce legislation. My plans are to repeal legislation.
Well, you have to introduce legislation.
You have to introduce a bill to repeal a bill.
Right.
Right? But we have to repeal pretty much everything that's up there. If it's up to me, I'll introduce a bill to repeal everything back to 1968. The other thing I want to do is repeal, or actually get rid of, because these are not laws, these are regulations. We have our business community is hurting mainly because of all the regulations and fees that are put on it. All those regulations have to be eliminated because most of them are just government control of what businesses are doing. It stifles the business from growing. It stifles them from making a profit. Yes, we do need some regulations, but we need some common sense regulations. And the big problem we have with people in Tallahassee, they put a regulation on something and then they put a fee to go along with it. They tell you they're going to reduce your taxes, so they reduce it $1, but then they put a fee on it that's $20. So instead you're actually paying more than you did before, except your hands are tied. So I'd love to be able to put in one bill that'll do everything. Unfortunately, that's not the way Tallahassee works. For those of you who don't know how Tallahassee works and how these bills are done, every session there's approximately 3,000 bills introduced. 10% of them right off the bat are approximately feel-good bills. They recognize somebody for an award or pat somebody else on the back. They really mean nothing. So now we still have about 2,800 bills sitting there. Out of the 2,800 bills, there may be 20 bills that are actually good bills that need to be voted on. Unfortunately, out of that 20 bills that are left, there are approximately 6 that will actually get voted on. And the rest are written and designed to fail. And I'm going to give you an example. For the past few years, those of you who have been following things, Jeff Brandes introduced a bill to repeal red light cameras. Right? Everybody thought it was a great bill. We got to get rid of the red light cameras. But it was a bill written to fail. The reason being ATS, which is the supplier of red light cameras, contributed money to everybody else in the state senate with the stipulation that they vote against the bill. So therefore, he could not get any support behind it, nor did he have any teeth in the bill that would actually force the cities around the state to actually get rid of the cameras. Right? Just recently, right, the Liberty First Network just put out their legislative scorecard. And even AFP put out their legislative scorecard.
There's much for years work.
I suggest everybody look at those two scorecards. They're not too far off from each other. But you'll actually see how every one of your representatives, whether it be in the Senate or the legislature, was scored. I can tell you right now, my opponent got an F. And pretty much all the other representatives that we have in Pinellas County got an F.